Welcome to Modern Church Leader, a short daily show to help you grow your church, be more effective and efficient, and powerful for the kingdom of God.
When I think about church communication and the challenge that we all have in the church is to communicate the message we're passionate about, the message that we believe in, that we want everybody to know about. I've grown up in the church, so I've gotten to see from the front pew, from the earliest age that I've been at, to watch my dad preach and to share the message and share announcements and all this stuff. And the playbook that I saw him use 30 years ago was really built around two things. When people showed up, you could talk to them from the stage, and when they showed up and they walked into the sanctuary, you could give them a bulletin. It was pretty much two lanes. Now, fast forward 30 years, and the playbook has completely changed because the way that people attend, the way they engage, their attention span looks completely different. And so we can no longer use that same playbook that we used before. We can't just communicate when people come to the doors because we're missing so many opportunities that we have in the church to communicate the gospel. So now when we think about what's changed, when we think about attendance, 30 years ago, most people came, if they were engaging with your church, they would come once every, most of the time, every week. That was their priority on Sundays. So they would come every Sunday, and you knew when they came, you could communicate with them. The new reality for us now is people aren't coming once every week, not even every couple of weeks. Sometimes they're coming, from what we found as a church in Northwest Atlanta, they might be coming every 4 to 6 weeks. So for us as church leaders, what we have to rethink is how would we communicate to somebody that may only be coming 8 to 10 times a year? That if we don't rethink how we communicate to them, we're going to miss out so many opportunities to engage with them. So attendance is completely different. Engagement looks way different than 30 years ago. Before, we would only be able to interact with people when they walked inside the walls of our church. Now, the expectation is that we need to be able to engage with them through all the different channels of communication, through social media, through email, through text, through video and YouTube. So again, that playbook from before no longer works. And when you think about engaging people where they are, we have to know as a church, we have to rethink knowing that the greatest opportunities we had to communicate the message of Jesus used to be inside the walls of the church. Now it's outside the walls of our church. We have an opportunity to leverage that message to more people than ever before, but it takes us rethinking communication. It takes us being more proactive about how we're using all these different channels of communication to get our message across. Then you think about attention. You used to be able to assume if you were talking with people that you would actually have their attention. Well, I know when I fly on an airplane, just because somebody's giving the announcements at the front of the plane on how to put your seatbelt on or how to put the oxygen mask on in case of emergency, doesn't mean I'm actually paying attention. So the same applies for our church. Just because we said it doesn't mean people heard it. And just because we think is important to us doesn't necessarily mean it's important to them. So we have to be rethinking these things based off of the new reality of the people we get to reach. So all that said, we don't have a message problem. We have the greatest message ever. We have a message delivery problem. So to rethink that, it's going to take us actually leveraging some of the greatest opportunities we've ever had in communicating the gospel. And it means being proactive and really looking at all these different communication options as a way to engage people and to get our message across, to deliver that message in new and fresh ways. Because I believe the greatest opportunities we've ever had are right here in front of us. We just need to leverage it and take hold of it and lead through it. I believe if we care about our message, we have to care about how we deliver that message. When I think about our church, we reach about 4,000 to 5,000 people every single week for people that walk inside the walls of our church. Our 21-year-old social media manager is preaching to about 200,000 people every week on social media. 21 years old, taking a megaphone to the message that we're sharing and reaching more people than ever before. Does that limit the impact of the message that we're preaching? No, it just means we don't want to limit the impact of that by not leveraging all these other opportunities. So it's really a matter of stewardship, of saying God's given us all these opportunities that we have. To just say, hey, this is too hard or it's too new, or change is hard and I'm not ready for that is just negligent, and because I believe that these tools that we have, social media, YouTube, all these things, they're not a surprise to God. They're actually a blessing and an opportunity that we have to reach more people than ever before, sometimes at just a click of a button. So it matters because our message matters. That's why we've got to lean into this stuff. So the felt need that most churches have when they're communicating their messages, they want more ways to advertise. They want more people to get to their events, for people to come to us as the church. The challenge is we're missing so many opportunities when we look at all these communication channels as just a way to advertise and just to market. The reality is these are actually the tools that we have to engage people better than ever before. When you think about social media, text messaging, email, all these tools really are a way. These are two-way tools that we have to actually to communicate and to engage back. They're conversation tools. And when we use them as a church just to blitz people with announcements, we're limiting the impact and reach that we can really have. So for us as a church, we have to reshape our thinking of these as the digital mission field, not just the digital promotion field. It's not an extension of your bulletin. It's an opportunity for you to be joining the mission field that we have on all these channels to engage more people than ever before.
Thanks for listening. Please review Modern Church Leader on Apple Podcasts and visit our website for more resources at tithe.ly or follow the links in the show notes.